Hello, everyone, and welcome back to JHR Backstage.
Hello.
We just finished recording the last episode, which was Primal Tribe, which is pretty cool.
Well, you just finished.
I did, yes.
I showed up after the episode.
You just joined us.
And I was like, what up? Yeah, it's going to be weird. I don't know what's going to happen going forward. We're going to try to adjust the podcast. But in terms of the episodes, I probably won't be directing them anymore.
Yeah, the core James' House of Rock's going to be taking a little bit of a break. We both just started college again, and thanks to the pandemic being somewhat over,
right.
We are both on campus. So at least the podcast can be remote. So the podcast will be staying the same, just about as it always has. The episodes will be taking a couple weeks off while we figure out some things, and then we'll be right back where we are. I promise it won't be a year and a half this time.
Yes. A short break.
A brief hiatus.
That's
the
what
exact wording that was on my website.
Brief hiatus.
The show's taking a brief hiatus, and then here we are starting recording again in August of 2021 after the last episode of March of 2020.
My God.
Yeah. It has been great being back, though. I've had a lot of fun with both the show and this podcast. It's been weird doing this again after having delved into so many other creative projects, and now I'm handling like 3 creative projects all at once. So but James' House of Rock's my old and gold, if you will.
Yeah.
I think it's the first piece of media like I ever produced, like myself. Beyond like not being a part of a collective or anything like the Voyagers, I think James House of Rock's like the first thing I ever did. Because a year later would be my first film, Destroying the Stars.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I can't let this show go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I do have a lot of fun doing it. In fact, it's nice to be back with a bunch of bands now too, because I've done a lot of individual guests, especially I think I only did one duo last season. Like it's nice to have full bands on now. Like I intend to do a lot more of that, because like it's good to get a couple of different people's perspectives.
Was the full band on set?
All but one member.
Okay.
So their drummer Devin was not able to make it to today's taping.
Tisk.
Feeling a little under the weather, but the remaining 3 members were here.
Right.
And they were delightful. I absolutely loved having them on the show. Honestly, there hasn't been any guests that I've been like, wow. I wish that didn't happen. But I mean, like,
well, that's good.
That's very good. Not that I guess I would say anything, even if there was, but like, truly, there wasn't. I have had a lot of wonderful guests on this show so far. You got to see a handful of them. Who would you say was your most interesting? And if you want to omit names, you can. But like, do you even remember half of them at this point? It's been very long.
Isn't that the question? My brain. Probably. I don't know. I'm partial to the people that we know personally.
That's fair. There's been a couple of those.
Yeah. Specifically, the 2 E's.
Both wonderful guests.
Exactly.
You could probably guess who those people are just from. I don't think we've had too many E's on the show.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I remember I was on at one point.
Oh, I completely forgot about your episode.
I was on, yeah.
That was a thing that happened.
It just, you know what's weird though? I don't remember that episode from the perspective of me sitting in the chair. I remember it from me being in the perspective of the director's chair, but that is physically impossible because I was on set.
I mean, I think you set up everything as if you were the director and then sat down in the chair and became the guest.
Maybe that's what happened. Yeah. Maybe. But it's just weird because like, for some reason, I have this weird memory of me like in the director's room looking at the TV like I usually do and like adjusting the buttons and I'm on screen. And I'm like, that's definitely fake.
Yeah.
Because that can't happen.
That can't happen. I remember how that episode came to be. I think we were breaking down the previous episode and you were like, and I was talking about getting more guests or something like that. And you're like, I'm a musician. I was
like, I make music. And you were like, good, we don't have a guest next week. And I was like, gold. And then I think that's exactly what happened.
That's pretty much exactly what it was. It was like, yeah, you can have an episode because I don't have anyone else for next week. So, yeah.
Speaking of my music,
yes.
I'm releasing a new single in a month.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's taking a month because DistroKid.
Right.
But
so it's done. The single's done.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just now you're waiting for distribution. Is pretty much what it is. Yeah. Okay.
So if On October 5th, I believe is the release date.
Okay.
I'm gonna make an announcement about it when it's like 2 weeks away instead of 4.
I mean, you could talk about it more.
Yeah.
On said podcast, we might even be able to play it.
Yeah. That's true.
You're not going to copyright strike us.
No, hopefully. I'm not going to care. But no, it's called Mad Dash to Safety, and then parentheses, it's called Post Quarantine.
Okay.
Because it's a song that I wanted to make to kind of emphasize the feeling of what happened after quarantine in a positive light.
Yeah.
Part of me wants to make a companion piece to that single that's the same concept but in a negative light.
Okay.
So that you get both sides. But for the moment, we have that. So that will be coming out October 5th. And then if we want to wait closer to when it releases, we can talk about it more then.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to throw that in there.
I mean, yeah, I'm always down. My music career has taken a bit of a break at the current second because I've been focusing on so many other things that music has always just been one of those fun, almost hobbies that I just pick up randomly.
Same, yeah.
The television's more where most of my mind always goes, but like every now and again, I'm like, I want to make a song right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how the Quarantine came song to be. I was like, you know what? I want to make a song like right now.
Yeah.
Hot off of my last album. I was like, I want to make more music. And then I made that one, and I was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah. So this is a little off topic for James Sauce Rock, but might as well just talk about other projects anyway. Our first rough edit is done for our new television pilot.
Hey, okay, let's talk about that.
It's a sci-fi action show that's been just taking all of the time that isn't being dedicated to James Sauce Rock at this moment.
Yeah.
With both of your fun hosts that are currently speaking to you being the showrunners for said show.
Yeah.
With you also being an actor in said show.
Yeah, so I co-directed, wrote, and starred in it.
Yep.
I would say.
Yeah.
Those are my positions. I'm also currently more than likely going to be the artist. I mean, actually, I kind of am the artist.
Yeah, more than you already were kind of anyway, but yeah,
more
than likely.
Brands artist,
graphic
specifically.
Designer.
Yeah, graphic designer.
Graphic designer.
And then poster.
Yeah, I'd put that under graphic design.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, you're pretty much doing Dragon Entertainment's art person at this point.
It's true.
I have like no skill on that level of things. I can make concepts, like I can make rough concepts that convey the idea really well, but I can't have anything. I can't do anything polished. I think like the best thing I've ever done is the current James Sauce Rock logos. Mm-hmm. Between the one that we're using for the show, the one for Backstage, and then the little inserts for like Artist Spotlight and Album Review Corner, which is essentially they're all the same image. It's the same vinyl clip art with different text over it. But like, yeah, that's I think the best thing I've ever made was the James Sauce Rock logo.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm not very good at it. I remember like that time that I was working on the album cover for my second DJ Witchcraft work.
Yep.
And I showed you the concept, and you're like, "That's your album cover?" And I was like, "Yeah."
And then I was like, "All right, give it to me."
Yeah, he's like, "I could do that better." Just give it to me. Like,
it was really funny because I remember like when it came to designing your albums and stuff like that, like I've grown as an artist, you've grown as a musician, and it's just interesting to see how your music and my art has like improved in tandem with each other over the years. Like, not that our stuff was bad before, but it's like it has improved definitely. And so it's just funny to like see like oh my God, what was the name of that album?
Drown Out the Sound.
No, before that.
Just What People Do.
That's what it was.
Yep.
Just What People Do, and like seeing my artwork on that, and I'm like, God, I can do so much better. And then like looking at like the album art I made recently, and I'm like, hell yeah. Like
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but it's funny that like my favorite stories are the ones where it's just like, it's like, oh, I made this. And I was like, that's it? You're like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, now hand it to me. Check this out.
And you made pretty much the same thing I did, just it looks far better.
Looks cleaner.
It looks far cleaner.
I don't even remember what concept you gave me.
It's the hand like sticking out of a pool of music notes, holding a microphone. Yeah.
And then I put it in Illustrator, and I was like,
and you made it the same style as the first album cover.
Yep.
Which I mean was just your style at the time, really.
Yep.
And what's really funny is that's the only album cover now out of my entire discography that doesn't have Spellbot on it.
Oh, it is, isn't
because
it?
I didn't even think of Spellbot as an icon at the time.
Right.
He didn't become my icon until the next album.
Oh, man, I wish I knew that. I would have made it.
Well, because, it could have been his hand coming out of the pool. But, like, I'm not going to go redesign it now. But, like...
I don't even think you can change album art. Can you?
I haven't ever had to.
Oh,
so
wait.
I
think you can. Because I think I did on DistroKid.
It would shock me if you couldn't.
Yeah, I think you can,
So,
I mean, maybe at some point I'll go back and redesign it.
Maybe. But honestly, I kind of like it as a piece of history. It's like, oh, this is before Spellbot was even considered my icon. Like,
yeah. That's like my my Vaporwave album. It's called VHS Arcadia. And it's funny because it's called VHS Arcadia and then it's subtitled The Vaporwave Album. But Spotify recognized it as an EP, and I'm like, all right. And so, and like originally it registered as an album, and then something happened and it changed to EP. And so I was like, I'm not even going to bother changing it because this is funny.
Spotify just changed its way of listing things.
It definitely did.
Because it went through like a week or two where it wasn't separated.
Right.
Like, it was just a big list of the albums.
Like if you go to discography, it was just like it was everything.
A giant list. It wasn't separated by like album, single, EP, or whatever. It was for like a week or two while they were trying to put in some new like organization style to it. And then now you have to like select album or select playlist or whatever for whatever you want to see in the discography instead of seeing it all in one.
Really?
thing. Like, well, so it gives you one giant list of everything unorganized, and then there's filters on the top that you can choose which one you want to see.
Oh, mine doesn't look like that.
Maybe yours just hasn't updated yet. You have iPhone, right?
Yeah, I have
maybe
iPhone.
Maybe the Apple or like the iOS version hasn't updated yet because mine's only been like that for maybe 2-3 weeks.
Well, because for me, like it's separated from like album, single.
Yeah, so that's how Spotify used to be, and actually, I still got to remember that because
we have our phones
because you can't see me. Yeah, I can show you.
Hang on, I gotta look too now.
Like if I go into, let's see, Imagine Dragons was the last thing I looked. If I hit see discography, oh, it's back to being back to normal. What happened?
It's because I'm here.
Yeah.
Haven't you realized this by now? Like whenever you try to show me something, it's never going to be broken.
So my guess is that they probably put that in place just for like a couple of weeks while they were trying to figure out something in the background.
I don't like that EPs are under singles.
That's always been a thing.
I don't like that.
That's been the case since I've even been on Spotify.
I know. I don't like it very much. I wish they had like an EP. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
Because they're technically whatever. Point is.
Yeah.
Nitpicking. But yeah. So Spotify's not broken.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
It was for a while.
You're welcome.
You personally fixed it.
I personally fixed it. I went up to Mr. Spotify himself or herself, Mrs. Spotify, and I said, "Hey, listen, I got this guy. He doesn't really like what you're doing." And they were like, "You know what? For you, anything." And they fixed it. I called them on my way over here. That's why I didn't respond to your text.
Honestly, Spotify is the only music streaming platform in my eyes.
Yep.
I don't know what Amazon's trying to do, but it's a mess.
No, No. So Amazon was like, "Hey, we're Spotify," and then we were like, "No, you're not.
No, you're really not." Yeah.
Shh.
Yeah.
And then Apple Music came around, and we were like, "You're too expensive. Shut up." And
I was gonna say Apple Music tried so hard to be some like premium platform, even though it's like you're just iTunes with a weird skin on it.
Yeah, and that's why it doesn't work.
Yeah,
because Spotify's so simple, so clean.
Yeah. Apple Music is just not.
Yeah, no, it's the Gucci of streaming services.
Just like Apple is generally the Gucci of phones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Apple has streamlined their phones pretty well, but when it came to Apple Music, no.
Yeah, they've streamlined them into making the same phone every year, but charging $300 more for it every time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I fall for it every time. Listen, they have the smaller version now. I'm going to get that one I've had an iPhone 6 for like 8 years at this point. Like, and I went from like 6 to 6S because like I like my headphone jack. I don't like switching models.
You could call that a success.
Exactly. Because the last phone that was a success for Apple was the 6S. Wordplay aside, because in certain countries you could get arrested for such clever wordplay, music. Mm-hmm. It was actually interesting. This is something that I set a reminder to do this. This is also a tiny bit off topic, but I set a reminder. Your song, I can't talk about that because it's not released yet, actually.
Which one?
If you don't want people to hear this, censor this. The album you sent me through SoundCloud.
Right, that one. Yep. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you don't, I won't talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, you can briefly talk about it. Just don't
I'll like dance around it.
Yeah.
There was a song that you made in it that I was like, damn.
Yeah,
this is dope as hell.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah.
And I was like, I love this. I want to take this and put lyrics on it and then like collaborate. And then school happened. Yeah. But like that's something that I was just like, it's like that was something I wanted to mention because I was like, at some point I may take the instrumentals from that album and put lyrics to it.
I'm down.
And if that happens, look out for that. That'll be and then we can both release it.
Yeah, I'm down. That album.
How is that album coming along? Because I actually really want to listen to the whole thing.
It was already supposed to pretty much be done.
Yeah.
But then, like, Victoria took most of the summer away.
Yep.
And then as soon as Victoria was done shooting and we were in, like, a post-production phase, I started James Assessor Rock again.
Uh-huh.
So it's been kind of... since
stagnant.
Yeah, it's been stagnant since the last time I sent you
the
concept thing. With the exception of I did modify the one that we both didn't like that much a little bit, but not much yet. I'm still messing around with it. Uh-huh. I think I'm 5 or 6 tracks in now.
Uh-huh. How many are you aiming for?
10 or 11. It depends on how things go.
Okay.
I'd like to have it out by Christmas, maybe. In fact, now that we're talking about it, I might, get
pick back up on it.
Inspirational burst tonight to go do it again. But I do have most post-production on Victoria to work on.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Because that one's a much higher priority. There's a lot more people riding on that.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want y'all to quote me on this, but I actually, if it's okay, I want to talk about Welcome to My Dreams.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Because there's actually a song that didn't make it onto the album.
Is there now?
Yes. The album was originally supposed to be including the intro and outro little bits because it's 9 tracks with the intro and outro that weren't really music. It was supposed to be 10, but and that I ended up cutting it because I didn't have the time to do what I wanted to do with it, and I figured like if I ever want to do this specific track. I'll make it as like an experimental single instead of trying to crunch it into this album. I have the instrumental for it, and I have everything else set up for it. So it was actually supposed to be a Zany Zooland rap.
Okay.
I use the term rap loosely.
Yeah.
Like how JT Music uses the word rap.
Okay.
And in the sense of like it was just a song about Zany Zooland, and it had fast-paced rap parts and then a chorus. And I was gonna make it, and I was gonna have Dan help me with some of the things too, like if he wanted to be the rap person, the chorus person. And what ended up happening was I wrote out all the lyrics, I had the instrumentals ready, and everything was all set, and I had the mic and everything. I realized I had a bit of a personal mental health challenge come up right when I was about to record it. I believe I was going to record it like March of this year, March 2021. And then some personal things came up. My mental health got really bad, and so I wasn't able to do it. And the whole album pretty much fell to the wayside because of this.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Because I think you had sent it even to me about like 2 or 3 months
in like February or
before
January.
it even came out. Yeah.
I sent you like the concept for it. I sent you like what all the tracks sound like, and then like one day, I think in like May,
something in that ballpark,
I was like, you know what, I'm gonna finish it, and I literally just like went in. I finished all the songs. I looked at the Zany Zooland rap, and I was like, maybe I can include the instrumentals, just as like an instrumental track, and call it something else. Excuse me, but I looked at it, I was like, no, if I'm going to make this, I want to make it how it was supposed to be. And so I disregarded the track. I uploaded the album, and it's out now. And so, like, hopefully at some point in the future, we'll get one of those. We'll get the Zany Zooland rap, which, to fill in the context, Zany Zooland is a webtoon that I have created and I'm making currently, which also paused because of my mental health issues. But it's on webtoon if you guys want to look at that. But that was going to get a song.
Yeah.
And
now you can line it up with the return of the comic.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what, in a couple weeks, right? From here.
So I had to take a break from making Zany Zooland because of mental health reasons, and then I got a job, and so I couldn't focus on it. Many things.
Those dang 9-to-5s.
Yeah, exactly. Or in my case, the fucking. Sorry, excuse me, not supposed to swear. Censor that.
It'll be censored.
The 5 to 12s and all those fun shifts that you get when you're a part-timer. But yeah, so hopefully I can line up the song with the re-release of the comic, which I'm hoping to start back up soon. But yeah, so a little bit of an insider thing there that you got is that if that song ever gets to be, that was supposed to be the 10th track of Welcome, or I guess 9th track of Welcome to My Dreams. But it didn't happen. But I really like how the album came out without it. I think it's a very solid album in that.
It's definitely your best.
Definitely.
That's for sure.
I think it's. I hold that one in very high regard. I love that song. That album. That song. That album.
I've had songs cut from pretty much every DJ Witchcraft album at this point.
Yeah.
Like for usually not fitting the tone. That's usually the problem. Like I know though on Afraid of the Dark, the last one that came out, the last full album that came out, there was a song called A Brighter Day, I think it was. I don't know if I still have it. I think I might have trashed it because after like 2 or 3 more listens through, I was like, nah, I don't need this anymore.
Nope.
Yeah. But it was just so Afraid of the Dark is pretty, dark-ish.
Really?
A Brighter Day was just too happy for it.
Right.
It was far too happy of a single for that. And actually, Starlight Station, which is a standalone single right now, was the first song ever made for Afraid of the Dark.
Really?
Yeah, so Starlight Station was originally recorded for Afraid of the Dark, and then I was like, this isn't really the tone that I want to use for this album. However, this is too good of a song to pass up. So it ended up coming out as a standalone non-album single, but it was originally supposed to be for Afraid of the Dark. And a lot of songs just gotten reworked. A lot of songs have gotten reworked into something different.
Yep. I was going to make a song originally that took the best parts of all my previous songs and put them together in like this flow of like, basically it was like taking a bunch of the instruments that you heard from last songs and like the loops and stuff and putting them into a new song, so it's like a wave of nostalgia from all my different albums.
I love when bands do that. Like the overtures and AJR's albums are like the best thing ever.
Oh yeah, it's a lovely idea, and they always sound fantastic when you can pull it off. But I just could not figure out how to get them to sound like. I was like, this loop sounds good, and this one sounds good,
but they don't sound good together.
Exactly. We put them together, they sound like poopy, and so I was like, this song is not going to work. And like, I think I have I have the concept track still saved, but I wouldn't expect that one in the future unless someday some miracle strikes and I'm like, I figured it out, which happens sometimes. But I wouldn't count on it.
I had planned a thing originally that never ended up happening, which honestly I'm not really sure why it didn't. But it was called Junk Drawer.
Yeah. I think I remember that one. It was just going to
be everything that I never released on one album.
Yeah.
That was going to be the whole concept.
Yeah.
So like it was just a complete tonal everything album that just included every scrapped song, reworked song, everything on a one album. So it was like a junk drawer.
I did that twice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. From concept to completion, right?
Concept to cancellation.
Concept to cancellation, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because the first one was because in high school I was making a bunch of video game concepts, and a part of that included music. And so I was like, all right, bet. And so I made tracks for each of the games. And I liked how they sounded, but I didn't want to release them all separately and be like, oh, this was for this game and this game, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, all right, so I'm never going to make these games probably. So they were concepts that got canceled.
Yeah.
So I made the album Concept to Cancellation. And then when Concept to Cancellation Volume 2 came around, those were songs that came from canceled albums.
Okay.
Every single song has parentheses that says where it came from and what it was supposed to be, what the album was supposed to be called. And so like a bunch of the canceled out, like Now with Cup Holders.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that one was a canceled one. I had one that was called Nick's Dumb Little Album.
That I do remember.
And then there were and then I remember the one I remember specifically was Live from Eagle Land, which there's a cover of an Earthbound song on that, which a lot of people like listening to that one, which I can't blame them.
Yeah.
And I think that was the only one I've made in actual music software. Was that cover.
Right, because I forgot you were trying to make Live from Eagle Land on, was it not Beatmaker? What was the name of the program?
I could not tell you for the life of me, but it wasn't
GarageBand. That's pretty much the point.
It wasn't. It was going to be FL Studio. Then that wasn't working. I switched to another thing that I can't remember the name of. But that was the only one that's like not GarageBand made.
And so, speaking of musical programs, I don't know if I'm just an idiot, which is highly likely, but like Audacity is so unfriendly to users. Like, it's great that it's free. I'm
used to it, but like it is a mess.
Yeah, it's great that it's free, but like I tried even reading the user manual that like it downloads for you when you install it.
Yep.
And like I was like, what are any of these buttons? I was like, what is happening?
Have you tried the Get Help button? You don't want to record that stuff in Audacity. You want to record
this was for a completely separate project with a girl I was working with to record a couple singles for her. We ended up using GarageBand again because that was just far easier.
Yeah.
But like I was like, oh, I want to try using like actual music software, and then Audacity is obviously the most popular free one, and I was like, oh, I don't understand a single thing that's happening here, and Audacity is really bad at showing me what exactly it is I'm looking at.
Yeah, that's true.
I've just started using Adobe Audition. It's not good for music, but it's very good for like voiceovers like this.
Yeah,
I've been recording all the album review corners and the artist spotlights on Adobe Audition, which thank God that there's 10 million buttons that are completely worthless for what I'm doing. All I have to do is hit record.
Yeah.
Because like, oh my God, is that program's complicated. Like, I feel like you definitely could do music on there, but it is more for film editing.
If you're going to do music, you want to do like FL Studio or something like that. You don't want to do...
Does FL Studio cost any money?
I think there's a free version.
Yeah.
But I can't remember.
GarageBand's always been my favorite, though. That's where I've always ended up.
It's just the easiest. It's the most user-friendly. You get the least out of it.
Yeah.
But it's the most user-friendly.
That's honestly the only Apple program that I use consistently that I find being like almost the top notch of its industry. Like,
yeah.
Because iMovie's a joke.
Oh, yeah.
iMovie's a complete...
It's an absolute joke. Now that I use Premiere,
and like,
wow.
Final Cut used to be good. And then Final Cut Pro X, the 10th one, just ruined everything. Like... It's that same idea that like corporations have no idea what it is that made their programs so good to begin with. Because like Final Cut Pro 7, which was actually the first program I was taught on, is Adobe Premiere just slimmed down with like better user interfaces. Like because like my biggest problem or like my biggest learning curve going into using Premiere was like, whereas on Final Cut, it was like, okay, I want to do this thing. I'm going to hit this button, and here I am.
Yeah.
With Premiere, it's like, okay, I want to do this thing. So I'll go into File, and then this sub-menu, and then the sub-menu of the sub-menu, and then here is what I want to do. The perfect.
I never make text.
I was going to say that's the biggest thing. So it's like that's more what I was referencing without actually saying it.
Yeah.
Because like Final Cut Pro 7, when you wanted to put text on a video, you just literally hit the text box underneath the program window, and it launched something for you to design it on.
Yeah.
Like, and then with Adobe, it's like, oh, file, new, legacy title, and then it opens up a separate window where you design your text, and then you have to drag it into the timeline, and then you have to readjust it. Because like Final Cut Pro, you literally hit the button, it would add it to the timeline automatically, and then you could just edit it from that. You could edit it from the program window, which Premiere finally just added.
Did they?
Yeah, but they hid it in the graphic workspace.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I used to use Power Director.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah.
Because with like text and like basic edits and stuff, there's stuff that is a little bit more complicated that I want to do with like Premiere.
Yeah.
So I need Premiere. But like Power Director was so nice. Even like the old version that I had, I think I had like 14 or something. And it's so nice because I just edit the text right there. Whatever font I have downloaded to my system, it works. And it's just like, it's so nice. I switched to Premiere and I'm like, stupid.
That's about all the time we have for today's episode.
Yes, it is.
I can't believe we just managed to fill a half hour because, but this has been a great time.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening. Check out Primal Tribe's episode. They definitely deserve a watch. They were a delightful guest. All of our guests this season have been delightful. Visit our website, jameshouseofrock.weebly.com. Check us out on Instagram, James House of Rock. We're also now officially added to all of BCAT's websites and channels and such. That was something we finally handled the morning of this recording.
Great.
So you can find us anywhere pretty much at this point. Just type James's House of Rock on your Google search and you'll find us. So
yeah.
Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for listening.
See you later.